Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, freaks and geeks, worms and germs, and welcome to Cinemastrophe'S Cocktail Hour. I'm your host, Tahi LaRocco, aka Don Perignon, aka Fish, aka The Doctor, aka Logan, aka half a dozen other names I went through over the years. Wow, I went through that with smooth sailing. I must be kind of sober. With me is my co host, a woman who will argue with you without using facts, even though she has facts written in the paper in her damn hand, Miss Robin Dubois.
Listen, sometimes I get brain fog, okay? All right.
I was editing that and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it and I'm just like, why is she arguing with me? All she has to say is, I have the notes right here. But you literally just sat there and argued with me for like a good 3 or 4 minutes before I was the one who remembered you had notes.
Like, oh yeah, I definitely have notes right in front of me. Brain fog.
Oh, you need to be more assertive.
I know. I'm that way at work too.
You're like that.
I'm
You're
not
that
assertive.
that way at work. You're that way in life.
Yeah.
You need to stand up for yourself. Be more assertive. Then more people won't be choking you out in front of Broadway shows.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you. Oh, here, I got a story.
Oh, do you want to explain the Broadway show one first?
What was that one? That was,
That's your sister.
oh yeah.
This time, Robin has stories for you instead of me.
I am very passive. So, how long ago was that? That was a few years ago.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah, I had bought Broadway tickets to see Aladdin for my sister for her birthday. It was a surprise. I told her, meet me at the city at this time at this designated location because I'm coming from work or school. I forgot what it was. And I get there. I'm standing in front of the theater, reading. And it's getting late. So at a point, I just have to tell her, I'm like, dude, it was a surprise. There were tickets to see Aladdin for your birthday. So you have to get here because they're closing the doors. She's like, why didn't you just tell me that? I'm like, keyword premise. It's a surprise. So waiting outside. The doorman's like, we're about to close the door. You got to come inside. Fine. And then I'm like, I'm going inside. They're closing the door. She starts cursing my name through the phone. I'm like, I'm going inside. And you know, these on Broadway, those theaters have narrow seats. I got orchestra seats. And it's a little tight, so and they're like in the center orchestra seats. So shimmy in. I'm like, fuck that cow. And then 15 minutes into the show, my phone keeps going off. And it's her. She's like, I'm outside. I'm like, well, they closed the door. She's like, well, I'm outside. So I shimmy my way in the middle of the show. I'm like, oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. To the door. The doorman lets me out. I'm like, my sister's here finally. And so I'm like, you're late. As soon as I say to her she's late, she yokes me up in front of the theater. The doorman tries to jump in to break it up. And I'm like, that's my sister. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, let's just go. I'm not missing any more of the show. So we shimmy our way back down to orchestra. Shimmy. She actually ended up loving the show. And I'm like, well, if you were here for the first 15 minutes. She ended up going back to see the show. I didn't even know that till like maybe a year later. She went back to see the beginning of the show.
Oh,
And surprises never again will I do for her.
the best part about that whole story was what my brother said. Your sister took an hour and a half ride down there and was thinking about it the whole time. Was just angry for an hour and a half. Like, I could just picture her sitting on the train muttering to herself the whole time.
Mm-mm-mm.
So what's the new one? What happened this time?
Dude, so a few months ago, my mom stopped home because she moved to Florida and decided to redo the bathroom. And I'm like, you sure about that, mom? Like, you sure? Can we get a professional? I even had a professional company come. I sat down, did an estimate, did a walkthrough with them, everything, laid out a great plan. It was potentially looking like a $10,000 job. But they offered payment arrangements and everything. And she's like, that's too expensive. I'm like, okay, I understood. She's like, I'll find someone to do it. So she ended up going to Home Depot, picked up someone from in front of Home Depot, ended up being an older gentleman
Hold
who
on, stop.
walked
Hold on,
with,
hold on, stop.
uh huh.
Is something dripping?
Oh, wow, it's in the kitchen. Hold on. Let me turn off the faucet.
What? Okay, if you could hear that dripping the whole time, why didn't you turn it off beforehand?
I thought it was far enough where you didn't hear.
Like, you were just sitting there listening to that thing drip.
It's actually still dripping, but it's not over a pipe right now. I mean, a pot, a pot.
But you would just sit there and listen to that thing drip, drip, drip on top of that pot, instead of just like doing something about it.
Yeah, now that's another problem now. Because it's not supposed to keep dripping like that. That means someone has to fix that faucet.
Yeah.
Not my problem.
Back to your story.
Oh, okay. So my mom decided to hire a gentleman from Home Depot, an older gentleman who walked with a cane. And I'm like, Mommy, seriously? Mind you, he didn't even have a car. So to get here, he would use a shopping cart to help support himself. That it was really sad. And I would sometimes give him rides back to Home Depot or to
Wow.
get supplies. Anyway, so this guy, and mind you, it's during the pandemic and everything, he tears apart the complete bathroom, the floor, the walls, the tub, everything. And he wants to bring a partner in to help. My mom's like, no, it's a pandemic. No one else, just you. And I feel for the guy because, like, he's struggling to do it.
He can't.
My
He
mom is
is already on a cane. He can't do all that work by himself.
right. My mom can be a real jerk. She didn't let him talk to me or even look in my direction when she was around. He would try to explain things to her, but she wasn't trying to hear it. Whatever. Lo and behold, she's like paying him like day by day. The little work he does, like she pays him like $50 a day from the total she's supposed to give him. And my mom is leaving soon to go back to Texas. She was like a first responder for the hospital, whatever. And my mom ends up leaving,
Uh huh.
and the guy doesn't come back to finish the job. He even leaves his cane in the basement. It's a day
What?
or two. I'm like, maybe he has to rest. Another day, and then a whole week passes by.
Oh my God! Please don't tell me this man died.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to him.
What? You still don't know what happened to him?
No, he never came back.
Oh.
Never came back. And lo and behold, sadly, he did not finish the bathroom job. The tiles are crooked. They're still hopefully he's fine.
Wow. What was
The
he? Well,
sheetrack
wait.
is
What was he
still out.
supposed to do?
He was supposed to
What?
remodel the whole bathroom. Walls, tub, ceiling. There's a hole in our ceiling. Redo the
Wow.
floors. So some of the job was done. The tiles were crookedly put. The floor was uneven. Crooked tiles were loose. The grout wasn't put in. And she chose white tiles for the bathroom. So, the amount of dirt and hair it
Yeah.
attracts. And I'm livid because I'm like, you didn't have to do this. You could have just left the bathroom as is, and you leave me with this mess to clean up. And I can't bear it. I hate the tiles. They're uneven. I'm like, God forbid if someone slips on this, no way. So I'm telling my coworker all my issues and all the stuff. He's like, hey, I know a handyman who can help you out. I used to work
Before
for
eh,
him.
before you continue, did you pay that guy?
The which one? The guy who went missing.
Yeah.
My mom paid him some of the money, but not all of it.
Oh my God.
Right.
That is the worst.
Right. We're not at the worst yet, Ty. The worst. That's just the very
Oh.
beginning layer of this 7 layer cake. So my coworker suggests a guy, a friend of his that who he used to work for, to come take a look, and he does pretty good. Oh yeah, and also the radiator was taken out the bathroom, and the handicap guy didn't put it back in. A peg leg guy, I don't know how to refer to. I never even got his name, and my coworker gave me the guy's number.
A peg leg guy.
I, Oh, he was a drunk also. He would leave tequila bottles
Your
in the
mom hired a
basement.
pirate
Like,
to fix her bathroom.
oh, oh, and another thing, he did get someone to come help him, and you know what this bozo guy did? He poured cement water in our washer.
What? 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 What?
Dude, I do not make this stuff up. Like,
What? Why
my
would?
sister ended
What?
up buying a new washer.
Well, yeah. What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm
god.
like because she didn't want to hire a professional guy, right? Like when you want to cut corners, you cut, but some things are not worth it. Like, and all I can say, this is not my house, but I'm temporarily living here, and I want to be comfortable.
Yeah, I know.
So
I
that
know that feeling.
right. So then, okay, my coworker gives me the guy's number, so I call him up, and he immediately sets up an appointment to come look at the bathroom and everything. And he was running a little late. So I'm like, it's fine. He's like, I'm here now. So he comes in, takes a look at the bathroom, and I'm like, how much do you think it would be? He gives me an estimate right off the rip, tells me everything he's going to do and everything that went wrong with the job before. Because he currently works for a construction company too, but he's doing this as a favor.
Hmm.
And he does side jobs also. Okay, I'm like, how soon can you start? He's like, I can start next week, but I do require the money up front. And I'm like, okay, my coworker referred him. I'm like, okay, that's no problem. He's like, here are the materials I need. Gave me a whole list, everything. When he's gonna start. Okay, cool. And he's like, ask me what type of tiles, what style do you want to go for, and everything, right? I'm like, okay, great. And then
I'm
he goes to
still,
Home Depot.
I'm still a peg leg guy.
Dude, I'm telling you, we're going layer. This is 7 layer cake
Wait,
right now.
wait,
So he,
did he wait? Did he really have a peg leg, or you just called him that because he had a limp?
because he had a limp. So he goes to Home
That's
Depot.
cold blooded, man.
Listen here. It seems to be a cold blooded world out here.
We have to give this man a name.
Pablo,
No, it has to
he
be a
looked like a
pirate
Pablo,
name.
drinking tequila all the damn
No,
time.
we'll call him,
He had
Captain
he had
Grimes from the
hair.
Watch.
He had hair up to his shoulder, gray hair up to his shoulder.
We're gonna call him Captain Grimes from the Watch. That's his new name.
Like
She hired Captain Grimes.
his cane is still here to this day.
Oh, so this new guy,
Right. He
like
sends me
our Captain
pictures of what he's gonna
Grimes.
get from Home Depot and everything. I'm like, cool, great, no problem. So the week comes when he's supposed to start. I get a text message, hey, I'm sorry, I'll be able to start this week. My grandmother died. I have to go to the funeral. I'm like, I'm so
Oh,
sorry
that
for your
sucks.
loss. As soon as I get back up, I'll start the job. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And this is December now. And it's no problem. I totally understand. When you come back, definitely you can start the job. So he comes back, gets some of the material, and he starts explaining to me everything he's gonna do and how he has to break up the floor and he needs help moving the toilet and the sink out the bathroom. I'm like, cool, my boyfriend will help you. That's no problem. That's cool beans, right? So he starts taking apart the floor and then he's like, oh, shoot, the tool that I need isn't here. He lives out a few towns away. He's like, I have to go get it, but I have another job to do, but I'll be back by the end of the day. The end of the day comes, he doesn't come back. He's like, sorry, I got caught up in another job, but I'll be back tomorrow. I'm like, okay, that's no problem. Okay. Next day comes, it doesn't come back. Then the following day comes, he comes back. He's like, I got it. Then he's like, oh shoot, I need another tool to do this. I'll be back. I'm like, okay, no problem. Next day comes, doesn't come back. Next day he hits me up. Oh, sorry, my girlfriend's kid. She had to babysit, and I had to babysit. Yada. I'm like, okay, all right, no
This doesn't
problem.
sound
I
too good at
completely
all.
understand. No problem. Another day goes by. He doesn't come back. Then he comes back the following day. He starts doing what he needs to do with the cement. Yada yada yada. So then after the floor, he had to do a few other things in the bathroom. He had a whole list of things that he was going to do, right?
Okay.
And then something happens. He's like, I'm sorry, can I get an advance? Like, I have to help out my grandmother's, one of his cousins because he's taking care of my nephew. And I just need an advance to help them with the bills. I'm like, oh, okay.
This is
Yeah,
why I say you
yeah,
need to be more assertive. This guy is never on time and you giving him an advance? Hell no.
right. I'm
It's
like,
like, can I get an advance? No. Like, dude, you're never here when you need to be here. This should have been done and you want an advance? No.
right, right. So I'm like, okay, all right, I understand. Then he doesn't come back. Then he comes back again and does little things for a few hours, of probably an hour, and then goes again. Floor's still not done. I'm like, dude, like, what's going on? I'm so sorry. It's going through a lot. My girlfriend cheated on me, and I have a lot of
Oh my
pressure.
god.
I'm supposed to take over her father's business. Yada yada. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that, but I
Like, you
have,
were hired to do a job. Leave your personal shit at home. Come do the work you're supposed to do because this should have been done already.
man, I wish I gave you my phone tie. I'm like, okay, there are days like that, but come back as soon as you can, please, because I need this done by a certain time period, please. He's like, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm such an asshole. I'm so sorry. I'm such an ass. I'm a terrible person. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you kind of seem like an ass, but whatever. I'm telling my coworker about this. He's like, are you serious?
That's what I'm saying the same to you. Are you serious? I'm mad you gave him a fucking advance. What the fuck was that?
And then my coworker's like, "Are you?" Because he used to work for him. He's like, "Gosh," he's like, I know he comes off funny sometimes, but he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he does something else in the bathroom, then does come back for a few days. He sends me these. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I just need an advance. My dog is pooping blood." He sends me pictures of the poop blood, and at this
That
point, I am stressed beyond belief. My boyfriend is like livid with me, like, and totally
yeah, I would be too.
understandable. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "I
Like
am
this is
so."
ridiculous.
He's like, I'm like, "Yo, it's cool." I felt bad. I'm like, "Okay, but you need to come back and finish this job that you said you would do, because it's getting ridiculous." So I told my coworker, like, "Yo, can you talk to him?" So he talked to him too and made him feel like shit. I'm like, "Yeah,
Well,
as he
yeah.
should."
I understand you. This was a hookup and you was doing a favor, but it's still a job you was hired to do. Do the job.
He finally, like, after I said my police, I really should have been a rude bitch. Like, I really need this job done because I have a 1-year-old. I need this done. I'm so sorry. I'm such an asshole. Da 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 da. I'll come and I'll finish up the floor and then I'll do this, that, everything he was supposed to do. I'm like, okay, that's great. Great. Mind you, I'm summing this story up for you because this dragged out for weeks. He finally comes and does the floor, right? And then he's supposed to finish up some other work. I'm trying to sum this because this shit dragged out, bro. And let me tell you, the text he would send in between, he was like, "Hey, do you and your boyfriend want to consider moving out? Because I know you said you weren't going to stay at the house. I have a property that you could rent out." I was suspicious. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have to talk to my boyfriend about that." And I was not interested, but I happened to tell my boyfriend about it. He's like, "Hell no." I'm like, "Yeah, that's just weird." And then another time in between, he offered me a job at the company he would take over. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of
How the fuck would I
focused."
work at your job? You can't even do a job you was hired for.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." But he's like, "If you know anyone
Whatever
else,"
business he's supposed to take over is gonna fail because he can't even finish this job.
I'm not. So he's like, if you know anyone else who does admin work or wants construction work, I'm like, yeah, I'll keep a word out.
Fuck no, I'm not sending anybody to you because you're not going to have a business in about 2 years. Because
And
you're not
then
going to finish a job.
And in the beginning of all that too, like he was still like weird texts. He's like complaining about his relationship, asking me for advice. Dude, you just met me. I don't know what the fuck you and nor do I want. I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that about your relationship. Like
I'm
he's like,
sorry
what are
everyone keeps
things like?
confusing you for Oprah Winfrey.
He's like, what's your relationship like? And I'm like, it was getting a little weird. I'm like, now mind you, this is like the beginning of all the bullshit. So fast forward. He finishes the floor. He's supposed to come back and do the rest of the work he's supposed to do. A day goes by. And mind you, he keeps asking for advance. The last time he asked for advance, I'm like, no, that's that. You need to finish the job before you get any more money. And at this point, I'm a fucking idiot because I have given him more than half of than he deserved. More than half of the work that was supposed to be.
Flames on the side of my face, breathing, breath, heaving breath.
Pretty much more than half of the money I already given him. I gave him the money for supplies. He bought the supplies, so they're sitting, they're sitting in my basement and in my sunroom. Another day goes by. Another day goes by. A week goes by.
And it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
I'm texting him, and then I text him, and it comes up, oh, the number you reached is blocked. I smooth text my coworker. I'm like, yo, dude, your boy blocked me. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, I'm calling him. I'm texting him, blocking. He's like, yo, let me call him now. He's like, yo, I'm coming up blocked too. And he was like, yo, he probably didn't pay his bill because he probably does that sometimes. I'm like, oh, really? Wow. So then,
Wow.
oh, I have to tell my boyfriend. I tell him this shit. He's extra livid. Like he's like, you should have net like, and he has every right to because I'm like, this is the type of shit. I'm so. What's the word again, Ty? What am I again?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, you faded out.
Oh, I said I don't know. No, timid.
What's the? I'm so
Timid. There you go. Timid.
right, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, all I can do is just like, wow, I really fucked up. I dropped the ball there. Like, I should have been aggressive. Yes, aggressive. I should have been more aggressive. I should have been not even considered his feelings because he
No,
seemed
you
like a
would be
sad sack of shit,
you would
and
be
he really
timid,
was.
not aggressive. You would be timid.
I'm
You're
timid,
you're
and I need to.
timid. Yes, you need to be aggressive, but yes, you're timid.
Yes, I need to be. Yes, right. So a few weeks go by. My coworker finds out that the guy had sexual harassment charges filed against him
At his
for
job or by his girlfriend who was
not by
cheating on
his
him.
girlfriend, by someone else. So supposedly he already had a sexual harassment charge against him before, but got acquitted because supposedly the girl lied and she got caught lying. I don't know. But this time around, he was going to court because of sexual harassment charge. I'm like, wow, that's why it's coming up blocked and his phone number's not active. And I'm like, wow, that's some shit.
You
And
sure know how to pick 'em.
right. About maybe like a month or two later, pretty much this weekend,
I should say your family knows how to pick 'em. How do you have two failed attempts at handyman?
two failed, right. And then this weekend, I actually find out that,
Both of which just disappeared off the face of the earth on you.
right.
At least the second one you found out is going to court for sexual harassment. Who knows what happened to that first guy? He might have jumped on his pirate ship and sailed the seven seas.
Drink up me hearty Joe.
Who knows?
Oh man.
Oh, I'm not done with the story yet.
This is why I don't pay people until the job is done.
Yep, I see exactly why. A life lesson. So I find out this weekend because my coworker's ex-girlfriend hit him up and he's like, "What the hell do you want?" She's mutual friends with the handyman. She's like, "Hey, he just wants me." I'm gonna say Pablo. Pablo just wants me to reach out to you and let you know that he won't be able to finish your coworker's bathroom. And he's like, "Yeah, we kind of figured that after he didn't show up for like a month." And he's like, he's actually locked up in jail.
For sexual harassment.
And
Oh
that he might be
boy.
serving time.
Oh.
And literally all I could do was laugh because I'm like, that's truly lesson for me, and that's karma for his bitch ass. Like,
What the hell did he do to get sexual harassment? He's serving time.
that's what I want to know. And you know what's so funny? Before all that sexual harassment thing, before I found out,
Captain Sparrow.
said to me, he's like, honestly, I didn't like the vibes from that guy, and I never want to leave. He never wanted to leave me alone or our daughter with him in the house because he didn't like the feel of him.
Yeah.
And he was right. Look at that. I'm like, what could you have? I didn't even know you get locked up for that, like without the
God.
the case being, completed.
He's like, what did he do? Like sexual harassment?
So right, and so his girlfriend broke up with him, which means he lost his opportunity for that business that he was supposed to inherit.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's good for his ass. Like,
Well,
I hope he's getting butt raped in there. Like,
that just saved that business. That's for sure. This motherfucker can't complete a job.
son, like, I'm like, wow.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know about that sexual harassment. I think it's a
Right.
little more than that because I'm
More
like,
to that, because I'm
what?
like, how can allegations if the court case hasn't been completed?
Yeah, I think it might have been sexual assault. I think because
I,
sexual harassment, he's going to be serving time for sexual harassment. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
you know what? They probably confused the terminology. It's probably sexual assault.
It probably, yeah, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't
Yeah,
sound
this
right at all.
fucking creep bozo. Like, the scorn I feel for. Well, I don't feel it so much now because I'm like, that is truly karma. And my coworker explained to his ex-girlfriend, he's like, yeah, he's an asshole. He took the money and ran. She's like, are you serious? That's messed up. I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's your friend. You know what he's capable of.
You a dumbass. Gonna get your ass whooped.
But yeah,
Wow, wow. I'm quiet because I'm still thinking about this. I'm like,
mind you,
th-
I summed it
he
up
probably
for
has,
you.
he probably does have a sexual harassment charge on top of a sexual assault charge.
Because I'm like, and this shit dragged out for months, bro. Like,
Yo,
and I'll say though, he didn't. The floor he chose was pretty nice. That's the one. That's the only thing he
yo.
did. And I'm like, I'm not doing any more with this bathroom because I plan on moving out in the next 2.5 years. So I'm done. I'm done.
Wow.
Oh, I also learned this weekend not to hold in your poop for more than 10 hours.
What? You didn't
Yeah.
know that?
It's,
How do you not know that?
I mean, I know, but I literally worked like for, I think, 10 to 11 hours, and I didn't get to stop to use the bathroom. Like, because
Oh,
usually I
yeah.
have a
Still, how do you not
routine.
know that?
And I have a routine, and I'm like, okay, I'm busy. I'll go after. Every time I tried to go, I'm like, I couldn't go. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go when I go home. And when I finally get home, finally relax and sit on the toilet, I'm like, oh fuck, fuck, fuck. So the next day, I had to go get like a detox to help ease
Ew.
my. Yep, I had a long weekend, very long
Ew.
weekend.
Wait, what? A detox? Why didn't you just take a laxative?
Pretty much, it was like, well, it's a detox bar. That's what it's called, but it wasn't a detox. It was just like a smoothie full of greens, pretty much.
Oh, I thought you went like to a
Yeah,
clinic or something. I'm like, what? Why did you
no,
just take a laxative
it's just funny. Pretty much, I just had a smoothie of
or eat
greens.
some Vaseline?
Really? Oh my gosh, just think about that. It's gross.
Yeah, so it doesn't taste bad. That was an old fashioned laxative. before they
Really?
started making laxative. Yeah, he used to like a spoonful of Vaseline.
Like a spoonful of castor oil.
I don't know about castor oil, but yeah, a spoonful of Vaseline.
Wow, I've never heard of that. But yeah, how was your week?
Hold on while I cross off stuff we were supposed to talk about today.
Long
That was a
story.
long ass story. Love on the internet, that can go. Cross that off. Robin's obsession with sex, we can cross that off. Maybe save that for next week. My weekend was alright. I got to see WandaVision. Got to see the last
Ooh.
episode. It was good. I don't know. I liked it. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it because I did. I really, really liked it. But it wasn't. I don't know. You know what it was? I expected more
Mhm.
for the ending. Like I definitely expected Photon to do more.
Mhm.
I expected a more climatic ending,
Yeah, it seemed more. I mean, I enjoyed it.
especially with Photon. I thought she was gonna do more. They pulled the fucking Captain Marvel on us again
I think that's what they were going for.
with another Captain Marvel. It's like, what was the point of her being here? I was like, they had to say they didn't have it in Endgame. Captain Marvel showed up and did pretty much nothing. It was like, what was the point of all this? You could have just made this movie without the Captain Marvel. I'm like, all right, though, okay.
I think the most important thing Captain Marvel did in Endgame was go pick up Tony. That was literally the most, to me,
It
the
really
most important thing.
was. I mean, don't get me wrong. The fight, her scenes at the end were badass, but I expected her to be like Adam Warlock of the movie. Nope, nope, she
Right.
was not.
Nah,
She
but
was kind of just there.
right. So literally, the most important thing to me that she did was picking up Tony. The relief that she gave me, I'm like, okay, all right. She did a good job with that.
Yeah, but so it was kind of like that, I was like, all right, but it was still good. It was still good.
Hmm.
Then I was confused by the after credit scene. I had to have explained to me
Which after credit scene?
the second one.
Well, it goes to show you she's more powerful than Doctor Strange supposedly. Because remember when Doctor Strange did that in Doctor Strange, he was
No, I
asleep.
did not. Because how long ago was that movie? Who the fuck remembers that? Who the fuck remembers that? I didn't get that at all. I'm like, yo, okay, what the hell was that? Was that another universe? What the fuck is going on here?
The astral plane. I'm like, whoa.
And I had to have it explained to me. And then we watching Doctor Strange and I see him do it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Who the fuck remembers that? I'm like, who remembers that? Maybe if they showed her go into the astral plane and start doing that, that will let everybody know that she was in the astral plane reading the book. I'm like, who the fuck remembers Doctor Strange doing that? How long ago was that movie? How how long was that scene? Less than 5 seconds, and you expect people to really remember that? Like, for fuck's sake! At least with Doctor Strange, when they did it, they had literally just stopped talking about the astral plane. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So
Like, who the
funny.
fuck? I'm sure I'm not the only one who's confused. Like, I don't get that. Yeah, you wouldn't, especially if you didn't see fucking Doctor Strange.
Hmm. It's like kind of like an introduction to Doctor Strange 2, the ending.
I get that now. Like, maybe you should have shown her leave her body and go into the astral plane and then have her walk off and do coffee while she's. Then people would know, not just have her sitting there doing that and walking around. I honestly wasn't sure if we was looking to a multiverse because Doctor Strange movie is Multiverse of Madness. I wasn't sure if they was referencing another universe where she was doing that or what. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? So I was very confused by that until it was explained to me. I'm sure I'm not the only one, especially people who
Yeah,
never saw Doctor Strange.
true. You know what part was actually the most disappointing for me? Pietro.
Mm. Oh, nah, I didn't care.
I'm like, I wanted like introduction of X-Men into the multiverse.
That'll get to it. Probably after the Multiverse of Madness. That would make sense. And that was the Doctor Strange is the one I. Spider Man comes out in December. I had to correct that. I always say I kept saying it comes out next year, but that's Doctor Strange. I just keep getting those two confused. I was talking to somebody about the X Men movies,
No, they're coming out with a new. They're calling it. Well, for now, I think it's called the
Yeah, they think
Mutants.
the mutants. Yeah, that's it. So right now they're calling it the mutants.
For now,
They might change it to X Men. They might leave it at that. Oh, excuse me. Because apparently Stan Lee originally wanted to call. Yeah, that's right. I remember that story. Stan Lee originally just wanted to call them the mutants, but the editor said no one would know what the hell that is, so you need to come up with a team name. And that's why he chose X Men. It was all because the editor said no one knows what a mutant is. So you need to come up with a team name, and that's how we got the name X Men.
good
But
stuff.
I was talking to a friend of mine. We was talking about it, and since Marvel doesn't care about popularity, otherwise they wouldn't be making Shang-Chi or whatever his stupid ass Bruce Lee, because nobody knows who the fuck he is. They wouldn't be making him, so they don't care. So I would use 3 popular X-Men and 2 unknown X-Men. I would use Cyclops. No, I would use four popular and 2 unknown. 6 is a good number. I would use Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, because you need a minority in there, and either Beast or Iceman. Actually, yeah, Beast. I would use Beast, and then pick 2 people that no one knows, like Kitty Pryde and.
I was just about to bring up Kitty Pryde. I'm like, how was it that in Days of Future Past, Kitty Pryde is supposed to be able to go through walls? How is she able to transport you back in time mentally?
Because her powers had advanced stupidly, but her powers had advanced. But that's how it was in the comics too. Her powers had advanced where she could time travel. It was dumb. I like what? But yeah, what the hell?
You know what X-Men show I was? Did you ever watch X-Men
Oh, I said Kitty
Evolution?
Pryde and who else would I use? I would use Kitty Pryde.
Jubilee.
No, there's 2 teens. No, no,
Mm.
no, 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 no.
I would say instead of Kitty, because we always seen Kitty Pryde, Jubilee instead of Kitty Pryde.
When did we see Kitty Pryde?
In the X-Men movies, remember that was Kitty Pryde who sent them in Days of Future Past, and then she was in
Oh,
the
that's
other
right.
X-Men
Yeah, yeah,
movies.
yeah. She was in 1.
She was in 2.
No, she was in 1. Not counting Days of Future Past. She was in 1, and she wasn't even really in Days of Future Past. She was there. She had 5 minutes of screen time in a 2-hour movie. Literally 5 minutes of screen time, maybe 10 in a 2-hour movie. So yeah, I would use her, and I would use because nobody really knows her, and they barely used her in X-Men 3. I don't even remember how the hell she got part of the team in X-Men 3. All I remember is the Juggernaut part.
You know what? I barely remember her.
Yeah, because she didn't have that much screen time. I'm like, yo, wait, wasn't she having an affair with a freaking whatchamacallit?
No, in Days of Future Past, I'm like, how she end up with Rogue's boyfriend?
Yeah, she was having an affair with what's her name? Okay, that's that. Yeah, she was at the school. I'm like, yo, I barely even remember. I would use her and make her better because she's like, first of all, that movie sucks. No one barely remembers anything about it.
Word.
And I would use, I don't know, who else is in the X-Men?
There's so many people.
I mean, they already used Banshee. They used Havoc. Like, who's
Mm,
popular or not so popular? Forge is kind of useless, so I wouldn't even bother with him.
they then could just make the X-Men Evolution team.
Didn't they try to use Forge
I think so.
in one of the movies? I think they did. I think the last one.
Yeah, there are so many minor characters that they can use. So
Yeah, I think
many.
they did use Forge. He had a brief cameo, I think. I don't know. It's all a blur.
Honestly, I know it's soon, but I used to love the series X-Men Evolution. That was really good.
I didn't like that too much.
It grew. I didn't like the animation style at first, but I'm like the story. I'm like that's a really good story.
I didn't like the stories. Like I tried to watch like the first half of the first season, and I was just like kind of like over it.
It was really good. I watched it up until the very end. We
That was
get
the
to
first time
see
I'd ever seen Pike,
Spike,
Spike, whatever his stupid name was. He sucked.
Storm's nephew. He was so whack.
Yeah, he sucked. And then they threw him in X-Men 3 as a villain.
That was so terrible. And then you know what? I don't. You didn't get that far. What ended up happening to him was that he drank some energy drink that caused his mutation gene to go out of control, and he had to live in the sewer.
I demand that you shoot me now!
And this is why I didn't like that show. It's fucking stupid.
I
He
mean,
drinks an energy drink. What did he drink? Ooze? Did he drink
it
some
was
mutagen that the
it's
turtles left over?
funny. That's a funny thing. They did this Apocalypse ending really well. Like,
Whatever. I just like I watched like a couple of. I think I watched half of the first season, and I was just like, yeah, no, this is just stupid. Now the original X-Men cartoon.
oh yeah,
Well,
no,
not the original X-Men. I'm sorry, Fox's X-Men cartoon.
that was untouchable. Like,
And it was untouchable the first 2 seasons. The third season, it fell off.
I don't remember the third season.
Exactly. The third season was the season after, um, whatchamacallit, Lost Island. What's the hell's the name of that island? The one that,
With all the dinosaurs.
yeah, what the hell's the name of that stupid island?
I think is it Lost Island? I think that sounds
No,
right.
it's not Lost Island. It's a specific name.
Paradise? No. Paradise
It might
Island?
have been
No.
Paradise Island. It might have been Paradise Island. I think it was. I think it was Paradise Island. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was after
Professor
that.
Xavier
After
can
that,
walk here.
it was after that season.
Yeah, I don't
Because they
remember.
spent that entire season going back and forth. Yeah, they spent the entire second season going back and forth between Paradise Island because Professor was missing on Paradise Island and what was going on. And then they ended it. They ended it on a cliffhanger, which was Mr. Sinister was the one in charge. And in season 3, they started with the finishing of that, and then the rest of the season just got really stupid. That's the last thing I remember. Then the rest of the season got really, really dumb. I was just like, I don't even think I've seen. I don't even know how many seasons they had, but I don't think I finished it.
Thinking about it. No, I think X-Men Evolution got good after the first season. Because that was the first time I ever seen Wanda. Like, I don't remember her otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think they ever put her on. Which we call
No,
it.
I don't think they did. It was really cool because Wanda hated her dad and her brother, and her dad was actually afraid of her because of how powerful she was, and she was just an angsty teen witch. It was funny.
Who? It turns out it wasn't even her dad.
It's so funny.
He lied. Those weren't even his kids. As the story moved on, why did these young kids come in and decide to change that? I don't know.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. As time went on, the new writers came in. This has happened in the late '90s, early 2000s. Turns out those weren't his children. His real daughter is Polaris. That's why she has magnetism powers. Because now every mutation has to be hereditary.
That's stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they weren't really his kids, and they aren't mutants.
What are they then?
I think they got the same powers the same way they did it in the movie.
Oh, shut up with
I
that.
think it was
Like,
something along. It was some type of experiment. Yeah, yeah. They changed the whole story.
oh, they could miss me
Cause
with that.
exactly, that's why I was just like, eh. I mean, it's a kind of a good twist, but at the same time, just like, was unnecessary.
Really unnecessary. It's way more cooler than being the House of M. Okay, whack
Yeah, well, that's a lie. They're not the House of M.
my ass until.
Oh, I got to watch. I finally started watching Attack on Titan. I didn't know they were 8 episodes in.
Oh, really?
I didn't get any notifications that the English dub had been out, so this is week 9 that I have to watch tomorrow. But
Oh my
yeah, 9 weeks
gosh,
in.
you know Toonami has like the dubbed episodes. You know what? It's so crazy for all this time. I always confuse subbed and dubbed.
Okay,
Dubbed is the
okay,
English one, right?
yes, dub is the English one.
Okay,
So,
Toonami is
okay,
actually like
stop.
airing them quick.
Complete that sentence, please.
But the point I was trying to make, Toonami on Cartoon Network. You know how years ago it used to take them forever to get an anime,
Uh-huh.
especially dubbed. They're actually airing them like let's just say two
Oh,
weeks
because
after.
yeah, because that's because they do them at the same time now.
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Funimation does their animations like right after they do their Japanese subtitles. They don't air them right away, but well, actually they do sometimes. They do because I remember what's the name was airing. Actually, it was Attack on Titans. Yeah, it was airing 2 weeks after the what's the name versions. Japanese versions came out. I remember that.
Mhm.
That was the first.
So
Dragon Ball 2 wasn't that far away.
I'm proud
Dragon Ball
of Toonami.
I think Dragon Ball was like a month or two behind. Yeah, I think Dragon Ball Super was a month or two behind from the Japanese versions. Unlike with how it used to be when it used to be like a couple of years behind. Yeah, they started trying to do theirs right off the bat.
Because now it's more popular and mainstream.
Yeah, it gets more respect now than it used to.
Right.
So yeah, I'm up to episode 9. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
this shit is crazy.
So
They
crazy.
ended
I'm a
this
bit behind. I'm a bit
crazy.
behind.
Did you watch all the last season?
I watched all of last season. I am up
Okay.
to the final season, episode 5. I think 5 or no 6. I think I'm up. I have to double check. How many episodes are season 4? Did you look? No,
Uh, yeah, 4 seasons.
4 seasons. But
So I'm gonna tell you now before you get confused like I was. This season takes place either 4 or 6 years after the third season.
mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say because I was hella confused. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand any of this. I thought I missed something. I went back and looked at the movie. That was the Chronicle thing, which is just a condensed version of all 3 seasons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did put a little something at the end that I don't know if it was in the original or not, but I didn't see it. It was like when they actually get to the ocean.
Oh, that's
I don't
at
know
the
if that
end of
was in the
season
third
3.
season.
Yeah.
Okay, it was after the credits, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, see, I turned it off when the credits started rolling. When the credits started rolling, I was like, oh, listen, to be continued. Oh, okay, I guess I'll find out what happens next season. And turned it right off. So when I watched that movie, I was like, what, did I miss something? This is like 2 episodes in. I'm like, all right, did I miss something? Hold on. I went back. I'm like, oh, okay. We're good now. I didn't see that last season. It's like, okay, all right, gotcha. So I was hella confused. Like, huh? What? What the fuck? And even when they explain that it's 4 years later, it's weirdly explained in a way that you're not sure what the fuck is going on. They're like, is this 4 years after, or is this 4 years before? This is 2 years after, which would make it 4 years in between. What the fuck? So it takes a while for that explanation to come around, but yeah. So just so you're not like looking for something, wondering what you missed. You didn't miss anything. That's just how it starts. But my God, it is fucking crazy.
It sure is.
Like it's a lot of action. It's depressing. It's
Oh
fucked
my
up.
gosh,
It's
so depressing. I'm like, yeah, I had to take. You can't. Honestly, I don't recommend binging this season. You need a week to process what you just seen in that episode.
like you caught
No,
up,
I'm
right?
a few episodes behind. I'm like
Oh, you haven't
probably
even.
2 episodes behind.
Oh, so you are watching the 4th season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why? Well, the audience needed to hear it anyway. Who didn't see? Have you sitting there talking like? So, oh, you're up to episode 6.
Like after,
If you're 2 episodes
yeah,
behind,
after
because episode 9 should have came out
there.
tonight.
Oh, so then now I'm 3
Yes.
episodes behind.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's why I said episode 6. I figured you was talking about up to episode 8. So yeah, you should be up to episode 9. I mean, episode 6. I was so and I said I was confused. I was so confused. I was so confused when it started.
Word, I'm like squinting my eyes.
And
Like,
then I was
what?
having flashbacks
When
of
did
Tokyo Zombie. I mean Tokyo
Tokyo
Ghoul.
Ghoul?
I was having because remember Tokyo Ghoul. It started season
Did
2.
the same thing
Yeah,
to
season
us.
2
Did
was
the
like a
same thing.
whole new story with a whole new group of people, and I was like, what the?
It was season 3. Season
Okay,
3.
yeah, season 3.
Because season 2 was where it was great, and season 3, I'm like,
Yeah, I
what
was
the
like,
fuck am I
that's what
watching?
I said.
I had to stop. Am I watching the right
Yeah, I
anime?
did the same thing. I
I'm
was so
like,
confused. That's what I thought this was. But then I was like, okay, I get it. Okay, all right. Yeah, so 4 years. What was it 4 or 6 years into the future?
I think it's 4 years because they're on a time span, a short time span because they're gonna
Yeah, but I
die
don't remember
soon.
how many years they had left.
I think it's 4 years. Yeah, it's 4 years later. 4 years later.
I mean, I get what his plan is already.
I get it, but it was so. Should we do spoilers?
Might not. It's up to episode 9. I mean, I get what his
Right.
plan is to take all the Titans and then die with them, so the Titans are gone forever. I get that. That's obvious what he's trying to do because he has 1 year left before he dies, right?
Yeah.
So the plan is for him to swallow all the Titans and then go off and die somewhere. Him and Aaron, because Aaron has like 2 years after him or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, I get what he wants to do. I got it. That way there's no more Titans left in the world. Or what do they call those Titans?
The nine the nine titans. What
Yeah,
are they
Nine
called
Titans.
again?
They have a special name.
Yeah, they do.
Yo, but that's
I know there are nine of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this season's fucked up. Especially the war stuff. Like how they just use people as cannon
Yeah.
fodder. It's like fucked up.
This is dark. Even the opening credits, I'm like, yo, this is like some Nazi
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really, really bad. Just like this is
And
awful.
I can't help but sit there and watch it. Like,
Yeah, I want to see how it ends. I want to see how the circle
yeah,
of hate
definitely.
and slavery is broken.
Yeah, maybe we could take a lesson from that.
Oh, did you see that thing I sent you on Instagram?
Uh,
The Surveil show.
what was it again?
Oh, okay. So this I don't know who this guy is, but he has this thing called the Surveil show. Yeah, people out there, you gotta look this up. It's on Instagram. It's spelled. Hold on. Damn it! I gotta go through a whole bunch of wrestling shit. There we go. It
Right.
says
Is that the one I said that? Oh, sent that to me.
I don't know. It's called the Surveil show. It's spelled TheSavoy show SHOW.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
one of the things he has up there is like I don't even know what the hell this is, but it is some of the worst fucking acting I have ever seen in my entire life. Let me see if I can play some of this. So this first one is like a buckle up commercial, right?
Put y'all seatbelts on. YOLO.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah. Just hearing it.
Always buckle up.
No,
What y'all
no,
put here too?
wait a minute. Now, you have to see this. First of all, when you look for this, look for the image of this girl flying through the sky with the worst CGI background in history. Now, this thing is, the visual is, they get into a car and she drives into a pole, which is the slowest drive into a pole you will ever see in your entire life. And supposedly this girl goes flying out the window through the air going, ah! And you just see her laying flat on the ground. And then her friends is she's in the hospital afterwards. Her friends is sitting there next to her, but they can't keep a straight face. Yeah, they're cracking. They're trying to hold the laugh in so hard. And then we had the one when the woman did you see the one where the woman got hit by
I watched all
the
of
magical
them.
rock? The Nollywood movies. Yo, this
I
giant
love those
rock comes
movies.
flying, and it doesn't just hit her, it like mauls her. but out of all those Nollywood movies, this there was one. That was the funniest thing I ever seen. Oh, this.
Breaking news. I have gotten the evidence that
Breaking news. I first saw that. I was so confused. The woman comes running up with the cell phone in her hand, and it just out of nowhere. And then there's this one guy who just starts scratching his head, looking at her all puzzled. Should I call the police on this woman? And I want to know what evidence she had. Evidence for what?
But I do enjoy those movies. I used to sit there and watch
If it's
them.
evidence for a crime, shouldn't you be taking it to the police? Or did they throw her out as soon as she went, wah, 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 wah.
My God.
Oh, Oh, that one is my favorite. Because I was just as confused as that guy scratching his head. And I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Oh. Oh my god, my stomach hurts from that. And then there was the one with Michael Jordan and his mother. And I'm pretty sure that was an old McDonald's commercial because I remember seeing that. And it starts with Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan's mother, showing him how to shoot hoops. And then she goes, and now I'm put some razzle dazzle on it, and she turns into a 5'10" black man, slam dunks the ball. Oh. And there was no hiding the fact that it was a 5'2" black man.
I love that.
Oh, but you know what my second favorite was, right?
Which one?
This one you don't need a visual. You can just hear it. Oh wait, hold on, I forgot about this. Okay, so this one. Hold on. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna play it first.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
There is a giant fucking Saint Bernard on this fucking table. And I don't know if it's a stuffed dog or a real dog. I don't know if it's supposed to be a stuffed dog or a real dog, but it's just sitting on his table. Oh my god! You people have got to see this. This is the funniest thing. Oh my god! And I don't want to hear anyone try to tell me Nicki Minaj has never had work done. Fucking bullshit. Okay. Bullshit.
I'm like, I thought that girl
First
looked
of all,
familiar. I'm like, why she look so familiar?
I've met that girl before she became Nicki Minaj. She ain't look nothing like she look now. No. Unless I was like, she didn't have no work done. I was like, the fuck she didn't? She had everything done except her face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, get out of here. What's wrong with you? No. She did not look like that before she became famous. Sorry. No. Oh, but my favorite one was this one.
At this McDonald's, ordering
That's my favorite
didn't
one.
always get you soda. The NYPD says a manager at the Bronx restaurant was selling drugs to customers, or in this case, undercover officers. A special narcotics prosecutor said Frank Guerrero put plastic bags of cocaine in cookie bags and then placed them in larger bags with cheeseburgers and fries, allegedly creating one illegal Happy Meal.
What? Drugs? In the Ronald McDonald's?
Guerrero is arrested, and the McDonald's has been closed until further notice. At this McDonald's,
If you can see the expression, you gotta see the expression on that woman's face. It sounds funny, but her face is what? She looks like she just got finished taking a hit. What? Drugs? At the Ronald McDonald's? Who the hell calls it the Ronald McDonald's? Oh, again, it is the Savio Savoy show. Look for the one that has a little girl that looks like she's flying like a dead Superman with the worst background ever. Oh my God, there's 9 of them on there. You gotta go through them all. I didn't play all of them. Just my favorite ones. Oh my God. I forgot she went off like a good 30 seconds. Charlie Brown teacher. Oh my god, my stomach hurts. Oh. Oh shit. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Oh. Nollywood movies, man. I actually want to watch some of those for a good laugh, because
They're so good. Like when I used to sit there for like 4 to 5 hours
oh,
braiding my hair, they put them on for me to watch.
oh my god. That rock just fucking followed and mauled that one. It mauled her like a lion. And I'm like, why
Mm-mm-mm.
would you do that? First of, and it wasn't like a tiny rock either. Shit was as big as our whole body. Like, where the fuck did that come from? And why was it flying through the sky? Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. I think I need 5. You need 5, I need 5. My stomach hurts.
Your tummy
My
hurts.
stomach hurts. I need 5. We're gonna take a 5. Oh shit. Wah, 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 wah. Freaking news. I have found the evidence. Bitch, what the fuck you doing here? Take that shit to the police. I found the evidence. Oh. What made it worse when she came walking down. She came walking doing it. Or trotting. She didn't trot over and start doing it. She came trotting. Breaking news. Is that how the news reports start in Nigeria?
I could possibly be.
30 minutes of they think it was breaking news. They want to get it to you as soon as possible. Not too cheap for 30 seconds. Here we have doom 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 breaking news. See, 2 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm done. I think I'm going to bed now. Fuck this movie. Oh. I really need a 5. I need to get another beer. Take a 5. Get a drink.
I finished my milkshake.
I had a burp and it got stuck.
It got
Still
stuck
stuck.
in your throat.
Oh.
Oh no.
I've been drinking all day today. We did the sip and paint today.
How was it?
It was fun. I'm sure my sister put pictures up on Instagram already. I'll probably put some up tomorrow. It was fun. Got another painting drawers. I like other people's better than mine, but mine is all right. We got to the point where I just started doing my own thing.
I'm like, I'm just gonna
No,
be
it
raw.
wasn't that. It
Do my
was
own
like
thing.
the brushes we were supposed to use mine wasn't it was old. It was old. So I wasn't getting smooth brush strokes. It was just all over the place. I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I feel like doing. So I just started using smaller brush paints. I was like, I would use the paint the instructor said to use to mix the paint. When it came to actual painting, I would use a different brush. It came up much better for me. So I'm just like, all right, because the brush I was supposed to use was too old. I'm like, yeah, I can't use this brush. I'm like, I figured out what the problem is. It's this brush. It's too old. I ended up just making my own thing. I mean, it's still the same picture. It's just when she was saying use this brush to do smooth strokes, I took a smaller brush and made lines instead. It came out looking. I like it. I like it. I think everyone else is better. I think everyone else is better, but
Butters. Butters,
I still
better.
like mine. I didn't like mine at first, but I had to after taking a step back and looking at it a few times. I was like, you know what, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Well, now that everyone's weekend and stories are all done, I believe. I don't have any more stories, I don't think. It's an hour and a half in, and Robin had, because of Robin's long story. Oh, she had 2 stories. All right, so surprise, surprise! We actually got to see Coming to America 2. I forgot this is Coming to America 2. You know why I forgot this is Coming to America 2? Because it's coming to the number 2 America. Instead of it saying coming to
Yeah.
T-O America 2. They just put coming to and then the number 2 and then America. I was like, oh, it's kind of clever, but then it's kind of annoying too. Because then I got to remember to say 2 at the end of it.
Coming to America 2. I still say Coming to America 2.
I said that a lot until I watched the movie and I saw that, and now that's stuck in my head. So now I just keep saying Coming to America. Oh, wait, 2. Yeah, Coming to America 2 was the second one. It was all right. I mean, there was things I liked about it, things I didn't. Like, it wasn't overall awful, but it wasn't fantastic. Like,
Nope.
I can't sit there and rave about it like it was the greatest thing ever, but I can't sit there and say it was awful. I did enjoy it. And there's a lot of stuff in there to enjoy.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of stuff that's like, could have done without. But we'll get into that right about now. So if you plan on watching and don't like spoilers, either fast forward or go play some music. You know, if we had some sponsorship, we could have thrown in a whole bunch of sponsorship at this point. You and your insecurities, you could have sponsored over the phone self-help. You know, for the spoilers right now, could have sponsored some Ray-Ban headphones or something. We need sponsorship. You need to start promoting, damn it.
What do I promote?
The podcast so we can get sponsors.
I mean, like, where would I
Work!
I'm,
You should have business cards. You should give it to every single customer you help.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah. And if you don't have business cards, write it on a piece of paper for them. Tell them, listen to this podcast. Listen to my podcast. So you can claim it to be yours. Listen to my podcast. Every single customer that comes to the store. We need to make some money off of this. But I digress. And be assertive. Be aggressive.
I really need to.
Be aggressive. You saw Bring It On. Be aggressive.
Spirit fingers.
So, oh yeah, we were talking about Coming to America. Right. So, I kind of didn't like the first act, to be honest. I mean, there was stuff in there that was good. Like the McDonald's thing, that was funny. That was fucking hilarious. And it was hilarious because when they was eating, when they was bringing out the new burger, it was an all grass burger.
That was funny and like very relatable.
That's the thing. It was funny because that was like a real reaction that people would really have for something that tastes nasty, but they have to promote. Like Louis Anderson was sitting there talking about it, and choking it. I was cracking up. Like, maybe it tastes better with a Pepsi. That was funny because it was realism without being over the top. It was realistic reaction that your friend would have eating something nasty but not wanting to say is nasty. That's what made it hilarious. That's what a veteran comedian can do. We don't have to do that over the top shit to be funny. Just subtle realism. That comes from being a veteran. Like Louis Anderson had me dying laughing. He really didn't do anything except for be real. And it was great. But then you had other things. I did not like the Arsenio Hall, whatchamacallit character. What was it? Soothsayer?
Oh yeah, the soothsayer, random
Yeah, I didn't like that
soothsayer. I'm like,
character. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the fact that the first act was, for some fucking reason, they decided to make it a musical. I didn't like that. I didn't need a musical in this movie. Like they went to like 3 songs back to back. I did like the fact that they had Morgan Freeman doing a narration during the funeral. That was funny because that's all fucking Morgan Freeman does nowadays is goddamn narration. So that was actually funny. But yeah, didn't like the first act. I wasn't crazy about it. Mostly because it was a musical. I don't want to see Coming to America, the musical. Even when Wesley Snipes came in, who was playing the general, it was slightly musical. It was a musical. And did you see the fact that he couldn't keep a straight face when he was doing that fucking war?
right. That was...
They must have done a million takes and he could not keep a straight face. That was the best one they got. And you could still see he was trying his best not to laugh. Because it was so fucking ridiculous. Just so ridiculous. The premise is God damn it. What was I gonna say? Oh, the premise is he was left over. There was consequences from him not doing that arranged marriage. And the general was his sister, right?
Yeah, his sister.
It was the sister of the woman he was supposed to marry in the first movie, but didn't. Who was still barking like a fucking dog 30 years later. That was funny. That was hilarious. Because I didn't even think about that. He never told her to stop. This woman was barking for 30 years and did not stop. Like, why would you keep barking? When he didn't come back. But no, she kept barking for 30 years. That was funny. So now he's trying to get an arranged marriage done with their children. Only, what's the name, doesn't have a son. Eddie Murphy doesn't have... What the fuck was his character's name anyway? Akeem. That was it. Akeem. Yeah, Akeem doesn't have a son. He has 3 daughters. Or so he thought. Because apparently, when they were in America in Queens, they met 2 women at the bar. He got high and had sex with her. And she got pregnant. So now he has a son. He goes to America to find the son. So that's the basic premise. And he brings his son back. And, you know, you had the whole secret agenda thing. He finds out about it, gets upset, decides to leave, blah, 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 that whole thing. But really the best thing about this movie, the funniest parts was watching Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall play their old roles again. That was really the funniest parts of the entire movie. To me, anyway. I love the barber scenes. I love the barbershop scenes. I loved Sexual Chocolate.
Never gets old.
No, it doesn't. I could have done without the creepy preacher, especially since he looked like the crypt keeper. I was like, ugh, they just went out of their way to make him look like he just crawled out of the grave, didn't they?
He crawled out of his coffin in the back.
No, they didn't crawl out no coffin. He literally crawled out the grave. Like his face looked like it was about to fall off. I was like, well, they really went far out on that makeup job. Let's see, the second act was pretty good. I mean, it's the thing about the movie is you know where it's going to go. So there's no real surprises. It's just fun to watch. And so to see different aspects of different cultures come together. I like the aspect of the baby mama and the wife actually becoming friends after being in the same house for a while. That was pretty cool.
Right.
Tracy Morgan was pretty funny. I usually find Tracy Morgan kind of annoying. but he was
But
actually pretty
this
good.
role, he was perfect
Yeah,
for
he was
this
perfect for
role.
this
I
role,
did the same thing. Yeah.
and he didn't go overly hood. He was hood just enough. That's why he was good in this. Like he tends like if you watch the OG, he is so overly hood, it's ridiculous, and it's not even funny. It's just like kind of annoying. But here he played it perfectly. It was like just enough without going over the edge. So he was good in this. But yeah, it was okay. What else didn't I like? There was a couple other things I didn't like. No, maybe that's it. Yeah, yeah. That's I think that. What did you think? What do you anything you want to add or subtract? This is pretty short review.
I actually did. I enjoyed In Vogue because I haven't seen In Vogue like the beginning, the musical part. I enjoyed In Vogue because that was a good touch because no one's seen In Vogue in mad long and they look gorgeous in those outfits, right? I was good with that. And then the Salt and Pepper thing, I'm like, okay, I see what you mean. It was a bit over the top, but I loved it In Vogue. It either could have been just one musical group or just two because what is it? Three
How
or
about not have a musical at all?
I like the music. They were trying to be like the first one, but not at the same time. They're trying to be more over the top. I
No, I don't think they were
hated.
being more over the top. I think they would. Well, I think they were trying to be different. For one thing, this had three different writers. That's what I was looking up. That's
Oh,
what I was
did
looking
it?
up. Yeah, this had. I saw that in the
Yeah.
credit. That I actually saw in the credits. They had three different writers. It was Kanye Barris, David Sheffield, and Barry Ballistine. Kanye Barris is known for writing Blackish, Girl Trip, AFK, Grownish, Mixish. How many fucking spin-offs does that show have?
I don't know.
The Witches. What the
Um.
fuck? Okay, wait. Okay, listen to this list. This is just like the top stuff in filmology. This isn't his full work, but it goes Black as Fuck or Black AF. We all know that he's Black as Fuck. Shaft, 1990.
Oh,
Girls
really?
Trip, Barbershop, The Next Cut, The Game, Blackish, Mixish, Grownish. Again, how many fucking spin-offs of that shit do they have?
3.
Apparently. And The Witches. One of these kids is doing his own thing.
I
Soul
don't.
food. The fucking Witches. Oh, so that was one of the writers. And you can tell what his contribution was because it was the Blackish humor. The Tracy Morgan stuff, he wrote.
Which was good.
David Sheffield is known
Ooh.
for Nutty Professor, Boomerang, Nutty Professor 2, Coming to America, the first one. And the Police Academy movies. And the last one, and you can tell the same thing because that was all the aspects of Coming to America. Barry W. Bluestein, who is known for the same thing. They work together. Coming to America, The Nutty Professor, The Honeymooners. There was a 2005 Honeymooners? What?
The Yeah, with Cedric the Entertainer.
Eesh, I'm glad I didn't see that. I think it's Beyond the Mat. Isn't that a documentary? That was a documentary. But yeah. You can tell the difference. You can tell who wrote what parts. Tracy Morgan stuff was definitely written by, what's his call it? It was definitely written by Barris. And a lot of the stuff that was related off the old Coming to America was written by the other two. So you can tell the difference. The musical part was definitely Barris's idea. You can just tell
I
that
like
whole
that.
sequence. That whole sequence, you could just tell was his idea. You could tell he wrote that part because it's just like it was out of place for coming. It was out of place for the movie. It was completely out
But
of place.
technically, it's not because think of it as like you know how like usually the black funerals that's been going on now.
No,
It's
I'm
a
not saying it
showcase
was
like
out of
that.
place for the movie, not out of place. It just didn't fit in the movie. That's what I'm saying. It was out of place because it was like that first one. It didn't fit with the rest of the movie because it was a fucking musical. Like you got 3 songs in a row for what?
For the funeral. That's exactly how black funeral.
I was like literally 3 songs. It literally went from In Vogue to Salt and Pepper to fucking Gladys Knight. And then you had the general come into a musical because they were playing music while he was coming in. They did the whole they did the whole showing off shit. So basically they were singing it, so it was a fucking musical. As I'm saying, that first act was a musical, and I'm just like, ugh. And it wasn't, and that's the thing, like, there wasn't really anything funny about that whole funeral scene.
I thought the dad was joking when he said, "I'm about to die." I'm like, oh, he's just faking it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, he
oh,
really died.
oh.
No, I knew he wasn't faking it. I knew he was about to drop dead. But the thing is, it's like it was just unnecessary, and it didn't add anything at all. That's the thing. It just didn't add anything because it wasn't funny. It wasn't really well. Morgan Freeman was the only thing that made me laugh because Morgan Freeman narrates. Like I said, he narrates every fucking thing nowadays. All he does. Everybody makes a joke out of it. I was like, ha ha ha, Morgan Freeman. But that was the only time I laughed at that part. That's why I was like, it didn't add anything. So that I could have done without because it wasn't funny. It just was like, I'm watching a musical right now. Okay, welcome to the world of Disney.
A wonderful place, okay?
Not always.
Well, now it's a wonderful
Still,
place.
not always. They got some shit too. Yeah, but the second, what I said, when he gets to America, it starts to get better. One of the things I didn't like, okay, let's put it like this. At first, I didn't mind them showing flashbacks from the original movie because, it's been 30 years. It's all right to do a little refresher, but they did it too much. Just way too much. One of the times that it was completely unnecessary and it would have been better if they didn't have it in there was when she was telling the story to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't it have been, it would have been so much better if they didn't put in the images from the old movie at that part and just had her describing the story. Because it would have been.
Right, because we know the story. I mean, we know the story, but it's nice verbally. I don't need images.
It's not even that. It was if you listen to the story sounds nothing like what happened. That would have been fucking hilarious. That would have been funny. Putting the images in there just kind of ruined the whole thing. Like, Hakeem went to fight to the monsters of Queens in the old barber shop and the lecherous preacher. I was like, what? Like, the way she was describing it was like some harrowing journey, which it was not. And it was ruined because they were showing what actually happened. Like, if they just had her saying it in that exaggerated way, like some folklore, that would have been hilarious. Because you know what happens in your mind, you're thinking that's not what happened. But the way she's describing it sounded more grand than it actually was. Well, that's what they should have did. But instead, that was one of the times when they did the flashbacks, and it was just not necessary at all. Like, in the beginning, when they first did it, like in the very beginning, I was like, okay, just a little refresher for people because it's been 30 years. But then they kept doing it, and I'm just like, oh my God. And that was the worst time they did it.
But, and I felt like, why is the barber telling him his dad's story? Shouldn't someone else more important, like Semi, or like one of his sisters?
No. First of all, it made sense that she was the only one who liked him. Like it made sense that she was the one telling him because she was the only one who liked him. The sisters didn't like him. His dad wasn't gonna tell him that story. He just brought him there so he can marry that other guy's daughter. That's what I'm saying. No, it made sense that the barber was telling him. But like I said, they should have just not used the footage from they should have not put the flashback images. They should just had her telling him the story. That would have been more effective.
It's mostly him I didn't like. He should be on the stage like in theater because his acting just like really made me.
His acting was fine. Like I didn't think like he wasn't playing the character he was supposed to be playing. Yeah, he was playing the character he was supposed to be playing. A smart, talented guy who's always looked down on because of where he's from and how he talks and the way he looks. He played that role well. No, he played that role well. I give him that. He was good. Just because you didn't like the
Nope.
character doesn't mean he wasn't good.
No, it's not that. Like it was him. Like no. Mm.
No, I think he played the role fine. He got across what he was going across. He did it the way he was supposed to. I give him that. It's not like we were sitting there looking at old Brad Pitt or Keanu Reeves.
Ooh, Keanu Reeves is always awesome.
Keanu
since
Reeves
Bill and
cannot
Ted.
act. He just plays
Awesome.
the same role over and over again because he learned.
Bill and Ted is like completely different.
He learned that if he tried to act, he failed at it. Look at Johnny Mnemonic and anything around that time. Between Johnny Mnemonic, between Bill and Ted and The Matrix, everything sucked because he can't act. It wasn't until The Matrix he found that role that he's good at, and he's stuck to it ever since. Plays that same role with the same facial expressions over and over again. And it works for him. Just don't have him do anything else. Watch Johnny Mnemonic. Tell me he didn't suck in that movie. Watch Point Break. Tell me he didn't suck in that movie. Doesn't matter if the movie's good or not. Tell me he didn't suck in that movie.
Never watched it.
Watch it and then tell me he didn't suck in either one of those. He found his niche. That's playing Neo for the rest of his life.
I liked him in John Wick also.
He played Neo. That's all he does now. He plays Neo in every movie. He doesn't audition. They write scripts around him and then say, hey, would you be in this movie? That's all anybody does now. They write scripts around his acting and then throw the script at him. It was specifically written for him. But they pretend like, hey, maybe you want to be interested in this. Because he plays the same role every movie now. And it works for him. I'm not knocking him for it. You got something that works? Keep doing it. I enjoy every movie you've done after the Matrix. Well, didn't like Matrix 2 and 3, but that's not your fault. That's because the Russos didn't even write Matrix 1. That's a whole nother story. But you played the role well. You played Neo. And you kept playing him ever since.
Wow, we digressed a lot from him. But yeah, I don't want to give away too much from him. But yeah, overall, it was mostly him. The recycled jokes, it was funny to me. I like the recycled jokes.
I liked when he made it. I like they made a joke about the movie and about American movies nowadays. It's like, what we got? What do we got now? All we have is superhero movies. What do you say? Remakes and sequels made 30 years later.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny. That was really because it's true.
You know, that was actually Rick Ross's house that they filmed the palace in.
Okay.
He was, and I'm like, it was probably he'd probably agree. Like, I'll let you film in my house if you put me in the movie.
Was he in the movie?
He was in the movie.
What was he in the movie?
He was one of Wesley Snipes' men.
I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to the one who played his son. Who the hell was that guy?
He is Rotimi. He's from Power, and he's a singer. He's from Africa. He's actually from Africa.
Yeah. I paid attention to Matumbo. I didn't pay attention to Rick Ross.
I met him before. Yeah, he's very nice, Rotimi, in person.
I didn't know who the singer was until my brother told me because she's new and I don't listen to new music.
Who, Tiana Taylor? Tiana Taylor, what? She was gorgeous in this.
Although I hated that stupid fucking Aaliyah vampire walk. Why the fuck do people keep doing that? It's not sexy. It's just fucking stupid looking.
Fuck!
No, I never seen Queen of the Dam.
Well, you saw that stupid fucking walk she was doing? That's the Aaliyah Queen of the Dam walk. That's the same fucking...
She does
that same
that
fucking thing that the chick was doing in
videos,
Suicide Squad too, for no reason. Except she was standing still. Like, that is not sexy. It's just fucking stupid looking. You look like you got problems with your equilibrium. Stop walking like that. Oh, it looks like you're floating. No, you look like you got hand problems. I don't know what to do with my hand, so I'll just do the wavy motion. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Stop! Just walk like a normal fucking person. Hate that shit. I didn't like it in Queen of the Dam. I didn't like it in Suicide Squad. And I don't like it now. Stop with the bullshit, stupid-ass vampire Queen of the Dam walk.
Oh, yes. I hate this. It is revolting.
Wait. Did you call it Suicide Squad?
It was Suicide Squad.
I like that. No, I like that a
Suicide
lot.
Squad.
I like that. Suicide Squad. That's actually very on T. That's we need to remember that.
Suicide Squad. I mean, that movie wasn't
Sewer.
terrible, but that wasn't great either.
Sewers. Suicide Squad. That's perfect. It's perfect.
That was one of those movies that had no depth to it, just all action. Except for when they were in the bar. That was the only time there was like any type of real character development. But that's another movie. I digress. Back to this one. Listen, we've been talking for 2 hours. We gotta get this moving.
But literally, us talking for 2 hours was a representation of me watching this movie. I kept walking away. I kept getting distracted. I wasn't fully invested. It was like something I was just watching.
That was the other thing.
As time passed
that was
by.
the other thing too about Coming to America too. It's too long. Like it is really too long, and that has a lot to do with the musical. Could have cut that out, and too many flashbacks to the original movie. Could have cut those out too. There was parts where they were necessary, and then there was parts where they weren't necessary. And the parts where they weren't necessary, you could have cut them out because this movie was way too long. First act, it dragged, but then it picked up. Then it started moving smoother, but because of that first act dragging so much, that movie was way too long. There was a lot that could have been cut out.
Yeah, I feel like the climax, like the crazy. I'm like, I feel like his son didn't really have any right to be mad about that because he needs you to be the prince to take over the throne.
He did because he was brought there under false pretenses. So yeah, he had a right to be mad. Like he thought he really wanted him in his life, and when he found out that he was just a pawn to be used to stop a war, yeah, I'd be pissed too. My dad came out of nowhere acting like he actually cared about me, and then I found out he's just using me. Yeah, I'd be pissed. He had a right to be mad. That made sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on that throne and to stop a war. Like, what are you gonna do back in Queens?
What do you care about the war? It's not your war. That's like someone coming
Would you
from
rather
Haiti.
be on the corner struggling?
Listen, if I'm not staying anywhere, I'm not happy. So yeah, I'd rather be on the corner struggling. If I have a problem with my father, I'm not staying there. I'm gonna leave too. Money isn't everything. It ain't all about being rich. You gotta have your own sets of morals and standards. So yeah, no, that made sense. It's like it wasn't like he was out on the street on his own. He had family. He had a place to live.
No job,
but he was smart and he was trying to get his life together. So he had options. This wasn't like somebody who was a drug addict that had nowhere to go and nothing to do. He was actually living perfectly a normal, fine life. Maybe not the greatest life, but a normal, fine life before his father came around. So he was just going to go back to that. And I said, no, that all made sense. There was nothing like stupid about that. Now, had he been a drug addict on the street, homeless, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm being used as a pawn, then that would have been stupid. But he had like a normal, regular life. Just wasn't the greatest life, but it was a normal life that he could go back to. And he would have been much happier then and living in a place where he felt he wasn't wanted, no matter how much money it was. Especially if he has to marry someone he don't want to marry when he's in love with someone else.
That's the thing. That's what I'm like. I feel like he could have just said he didn't have to run off and get married to the girl who just. Why couldn't you just date her for a little bit?
Because the
like,
movie is 2
hours.
Because the movie is 2.5 hours. It's already too long. We don't need any more.
Yeah. We didn't need a wedding. They didn't have to rush to get married. Not like it was like a race against he needed to get married to get the throne.
You needed all that because it's a repeat of the first one. You can't do that without having all that. It's the repeat of the same story. It's a repeat of the same story on two different levels. One, passing down the generation, repeating itself. Two, the original one forgetting his past. That was the whole point. So you have to have the wedding at the end with the woman he loves. That's how you tie it together in a nice little bow.
Nah, I wasn't feeling that.
So yeah, that was the whole point.
Cause so then that's the whole point. Then it was trying to be like the first movie instead of being on its own.
It was trying to be the first movie, but at the same time be original in the same sense. It was repeating the same movie, but with a different style and different perspective from a different character. But it was the same movie as the first one. Instead of going to America, he went to Africa, where he met his true love, but had the same problem that his father was going to have. As I said, it's a repeat. It was, for one, to show that history repeats itself with the next generation, and two, to show that the original person who started this journey forgot what the journey was about. It was done on purpose, and you have to end it with them getting married at the end for it to be a complete story. So that was fine. And it made sense why he left, for the same reason. It's about principles and morals and what's more important in your life. So that all made sense. There was life lessons there. I mean, yes, they could have dated, but this movie was already 2.5 hours. I don't want to sit through 3. I'm glad that they just went straight to the altar and tried to get married.
All they had to do, I just want to be
fine.
with you. That's it. Good. That would have been fine.
No, it wouldn't have been fine because it wouldn't have completed the circle. That's why it wasn't fine. They'd have to get married at the end. Then the circle is complete. And like I said, I didn't want to sit there for another half hour to make this movie 3 hours. So rushing straight to the altar was a good choice. I don't think anybody wanted to sit there for another half hour just to watch these fuckers date. Besides, they had their dates walking through the courtyard. That's good enough. That's good enough. Lots of stuff happened when you walk through the courtyard. Didn't you watch Game of Thrones? People died just from walking through the courtyard. Lifetime goes through those courtyards. So,
yes. Overall, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it was humorous.
Yeah,
it was good.
It wasn't fantastic, but it was good.
Good chuckle.
It was good. It wasn't fantastic, but it was good. You'll walk away satisfied and feeling happy about it, laughing. You'll even have memorable moments that you'll keep thinking about later on. So it was good. It was a good movie. It just wasn't fantastic. You're not going to have that feeling you had the first time you walked out of the movie theaters after watching The Hangover. Not because it's not The Hangover, but because it just didn't have the level of humorous surprise and unexpectedness that The Hangover had. This was more of a traditional comedy, and it works. So it's a good movie, just not fantastic. Nothing amazing about it, just something you can watch with the family and have a good time with.
Right, it's a good family movie.
There's probably more stuff I can talk about it, but again, we've been talking for 2 hours already. So let's get into the news. Hold on. We're going to do this. We got to do this right.
Yum, 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 yum. Sisimia, sisimia, sisimia. Quang, quang, quang. Quang, 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 quang. Quang, 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 quang. Breaking news.
There you go. I think that's going to be your new news entrance.
You know, it's funny. We don't have much time for it because in the news, there's... You're so funny. Breaking news. Breaking news.
That is going to be your new entrance. I'm stealing it. I'm sorry. I'm clipping that. Breaking news. I found a replacement for my what's in the news. Go ahead. What do we got?
It's actually pretty much with the time. We don't have literally 2 hours we've been talking. The number one thing, like the biggest in the news right now, well, actually there's a lot going on in the news, but the main article...
How many articles you have?
I have like 5, but I don't...
Oh, wish you could do 5. We could do 5.5 hours.
The stimulus article alone is like... I'll try to sum it up.
Yeah, you don't have to read the article. Just sum it up for us. What's the stimulus thing going on? I heard the bill was passed.
Yes, it was passed on Saturday. It is a $1.9 trillion package.
How much are we getting?
So, for... all I hear is gimme.
No, I said, how much are we getting? That's what... How much are we getting?
Translation, gimme. The stimulus check. The Senate bill amends the House bill on the $1,400 per person stimulus payment. Individuals earning less than $75,000 a year and married couples earning less than $150,000 will receive $1,400 per person, including children. So what does that mean? $1,400 per child?
Yes, that means you get $1,400. Riley gets $1,400. Your mom gets $1,400. Your sister gets $1,400. Your boyfriend gets $1,400. Wait, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. One of y'all's not getting a check. I guess Riley will be cut off. Because wait, this is you. Oh no, that's 5. Yeah, each one of y'all get a check.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Come to perfect candy.
Because I think the cutoff is 5 as like the last one. I'm assuming they're doing it like the last one, so the cutoff was 5 per household.
Excuse me?
Yeah, like the cutoff was like they made it so like when it was the $1,200 one, I believe it was a max of 6,000. So that means 5 people in your household was able to get $1,200. Period. That's the most you can get for a household. So I'm assuming they're doing the same thing again. So that means 5 of you in the household will get $1,400 each, and then that's it.
There, upstairs alone is my sister, my niece, my little sister, down, and that's 4 people upstairs. Down here is me and my cousin. That's 8 people in the house.
Yeah,
Oh,
it depends on how y'all file. Like, let's just say it goes by household, not people living in the house. Household.
tax wise.
So if y'all
Okay.
all are continued households, then only 5 of you are going to get checks.
Oh, okay. Who won't give me a panic attack? Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you talking about? No, household, not how many people in the house. Household. So if you have like 5 people living downstairs and 5 people living upstairs, and y'all are all in the same household, only 5 of y'all are getting checks.
Got it. All right. So the checks will phase out faster than the previous round. That's a very important fact. Completely.
What?
The check. Remember how long it took the checks to phase out before?
What do you mean phase out?
As in give out.
It didn't take that long. I got my check like a week after they said they were giving us $600.
Oh, I didn't. Mine's for some reason. My first stimulus check was a direct deposit. The first one. The second one came in the mail, so I had to wait weeks for it.
Oh no, mine was direct deposit the second time too. That's $600. I heard about it the week later. I was just checking my account. I'm like, what the hell is this extra money? I saw it's oh, okay. Alrighty. That didn't take long at all. It took me longer the first one.
No, like and it was super weird. I'm like, why would my second check come in the mail when I file my taxes by direct deposit and my first check was direct deposit? That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, they're gonna get some of that money back because I owe taxes from last year.
Yeah, ditto. So pretty much my stimulus check is going towards my taxes.
Yeah. Not all of mine, but I'm pretty much like probably half of it, including this year and last year, probably half.
Okay, so the checks are going to come out faster, and they're going to completely cut off individuals who earn more than $80,000 a year, and married couples earning
Good.
more than $1,600,000 a year, regardless of how many children they have.
Yeah, because they don't need it.
Right, they're good.
They don't need it. You're making $80,000 a year. You don't need a stimulus check. If you're still making $80,000 a year, you don't need a stimulus check.
So for
Sorry.
No, you don't. You really don't. For unemployment assistance, the Senate version calls for providing a $300 federal boost to weekly jobless payments and extending 2 key pandemic unemployment benefit programs through September. The arrangement will also make the first $10,200 worth of.
See, now here's the thing. My sister made a point about, and she's right. They're just giving money out as a ballpark to people instead of going by how much they actually make a week, which would make sense. Like if you make $600 a week, you should get $600 a week in unemployment. But if you only make $500 a week, you should get $500 in unemployment because that's what you normally make.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're getting extra money that you wouldn't normally make anyway.
Exactly.
So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not saying that people shouldn't get the money, but they should base it off what they make. That's how they should. If you're making $600 a week, then you should get $600 a week. If you're making $300 a week, you get $300. Not to mention some places, the reason they make $300 a week is because their price of living is way lower than other places, like major cities. So they didn't think about all that or try to do any of that. They just went straight to just giving everyone a ballpark figure, which kind of sucks. I mean, it does give people who were making less a chance to move up, but the people who are making more and now unemployed, they're fucked because they're only getting $600 and they need $700 to $800 to support their lifestyle. And it's not their fault that they can't because COVID caused them to lose their job. So they really should have like put that in an account. Plus, they probably wouldn't be blowing through money like that. So I mean, they probably wouldn't be blowing through money so fast if they actually did it that way. But no one wants to think like that. They're just trying to get things done fast because dickhead fucked everything up to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Both bills would send roughly 20 billion to state and local governments to help lower income households cover back assistance, and utility bills. About 10 billion would be
First of
authorized
all,
to
no
help.
one should have
Hmm.
back rent or anything. No one should have to pay back rent right now. There should be no back rent being paid for anybody for anything. Electricity bills, light bills, yes. Rent, no one should be paying any rent. No one should be paying property taxes. No one should be paying anything that has to do with living other than utilities right this moment. That's just the way it
Hmm.
should be right now. Because I get the rent owner has to pay houses on the bill, has to pay taxes, property taxes on that bill. But, yo, seriously, we're in a pandemic. Like, no one should be paying any type of property expenses right now. All you should be paying for is utilities. That's it. It's the only thing we should be paying for right now.
About 10 billion will be authorized to help struggling homeowners pay their mortgages, utilities, and property taxes. The bills will provide 5 billion to help states and local assist those at risk of experiencing homelessness, and another 5 billion for emergency housing vouchers for those who are homeless.
Okay. Anything else important? Like, do they
There's a
have a
lot.
date when they start sending them out? Or,
No, no date yet.
all right, I guess that's
Vax
it.
oh,
What is there anything else important?
vaccines and testing. Yeah, it's a lot. I'll skip to the vaccines and
No, I was talking
testing.
about no, I was talking about the stimulus checks. Was that on the stimulus check?
Uh,
Nothing.
yep.
Okay. All right. Next one. Next, I'm not gonna make too many comments because I want to go to bed. Next, the
Okay.
vaccines.
This is all in the same article.
That's fine. This is what do you have to say about the vaccines? All anybody wants to know is
Vaccines
oh,
and
I was gonna
testing.
say about the stimulus check. All anybody wants to know is how much they're getting and where they're getting it.
That's true. No word of when yet. Just that it's coming sooner than it did before.
Yeah, that's all anyone wants to know. How much is it? When they getting it? Are we sure we getting it? Are we getting more afterward? That's all anyone cares about.
So the Senate and House bills provide 14 billion to research, develop, distribute, administer, and strengthen confidence in vaccines.
Oh, wait. There's one question though. Did they actually put
Mm-hmm.
the Hero Act in there, or they just scrapped that completely?
I'm not sure what the Hero Act
That
is.
was the one where the essential workers were supposed to get paid time and a half, equal to time and a half during the entire pandemic thing.
I'm not sure. There's this.
I don't know if that just fell off the rails and everyone just forgot about it or what.
Nope, it's not included in this article.
Oh,
It could be part of the bill, but this article doesn't mention it.
if it's probably not. They probably took it off. All right, keep going.
Okay, the Senate and House bills provide 14 billion to well, yeah. They would also put 47.8 billion towards testing, contact tracing, and migration, including investing in laboratory capacity, community-based testing sites, and mobile testing units, particularly in under medically underserved areas.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds important. I'll figure it out when I'm editing. I'm getting tired. Is there anything important about that we need to know?
Pretty much they're gonna put a lot of money to try to push to be vaccines are cool.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, those type of
I
commercials.
thought, this is about commercials. Oh, see, that's how I'm tired. I'm thinking like, the vaccines. They're gonna tell you where they're located, how they're doing with people, blah blah blah.
They're trying to push to make it more popular, so they're gonna spend millions and billions of dollars. Like,
Oh my god.
vaccines are cool, and of course
Yeah.
into research and facilities and all that. But they're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
spend
As
a
long as
lot
they're
of money
putting it
on
into
that too.
research facilities, I'm like, really, all that for commercials just to get people? It's like, either people gonna go get it or not. The commercials isn't gonna help. But if they're putting it into the
Listen here,
research as well, then okay. So then I accept that. All right, you put into research, fine, whatever.
One commercial is probably going to cost $1 million. That's for sure.
Yeah, but the rest of the millions just go to the research, so that's fine. What else we got?
Hopefully. Wall Street Journal. Third female former staffer accuses New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of inappropriate conduct.
What? Hold on. Okay, what happened?
Mm.
First, were we just talking about this?
Hmm.
What happened?
So, a third female former staffer has come forward with accusations of inappropriate conduct by the New York governor, according to reports of the Wall Street Journal on Saturday night. The governor already stands accused of sexual harassment by two women and unwanted advances against him by a third. A former aide of Cuomo told the Wall Street Journal that the government asked her if she had a boyfriend, called her sweetheart, and touched her on her lower back at a reception and once kissed her hand when she rose from her desk.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Cuomo apologized earlier this month for making people uncomfortable and denied touching people inappropriately. He says, I never touched anyone inappropriately. I never touched anyone inappropriately.
See,
I
this
never
is the
knew.
problem with sexual harassment suits in the workplace. What some people consider inappropriate, other people don't. Like, I don't consider a kiss on the hand inappropriate, or putting your hand on a female's back inappropriate, but maybe the female does. So, I don't think he crossed the line. But from that description, it doesn't sound like he crossed the line. It wasn't like he was like grabbing her ass. He was just trying to pick her
That's
up.
what I was waiting to read.
Oh, he did grab her ass?
No. As in, like, I expected to
Oh,
read that.
yeah. That doesn't sound like. But you can't say it's not inappropriate behavior because it's being done to her and she found it inappropriate. So it's a tricky situation. Like, I
Oh my
honestly I don't
God.
see there's anything wrong with what he did. Like, he touched the small of her back. Yeah, that's a pickup move. He kissed her hand. Yeah, that's a pickup move.
Right. So she initially thought of Cuomo's action as harmless flirting,
Yeah,
but then she began to see it as patronizing.
that's what I said. That's the thing. It was harmless flirting from my point of view, but in her point of view, it's not. That's sexual harassment charges is such a tricky situation. This is why you just keep your mouth shut. Say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
On it's
That's
not.
it. That's it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's all you say to your fellow employees. That way you stay out of trouble.
There is logic in what he says.
She says it's not appropriate, really, in any setting. Another situation, he came right over to me and he was like, "Hey, sweetheart." That had me. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Again, that seems extremely frugalous. But it's not frugalous to her. I'm sure there's plenty of things people think is frugalous that I don't find frugalous. So yeah. Like I said, this is
but
why you say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's it.
and not to be an ass, but if you break down the word sweetheart, he's saying that, like, technically that term is saying you have a sweet
Good
heart.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You want to keep your job? Good morning, good afternoon, good
Uh,
evening, and good night. That's it. Don't say nothing else. I heard he wanted to resign and he refuses. What else is there?
Um, she said she never made a formal complaint about the governor's conduct, but did ask later to be transferred to another office.
That's another problem. Like, that's another thing too. Like, I don't understand how you can sit there and try and sue somebody for sexual harassment way after the fact that it happened and you didn't bother forming a formal complaint. I get it back in
2014.
no, not even 2014. I would say '09, '09 and below. I get it for those years, 2009 and lower. But after that,
Right. In 20 this happened in
there's no
2014.
excuse not to be speaking up. because that's when people started speaking about everything. Not just women problem, not just the women's sexual harassment stuff. Every problem, everywhere, whether it was a racism, bad work environment, that's when everyone started speaking up around that time. It grew more and more with the women as the years went on, but everyone started speaking up about 2009. It started changing. So there's no reason for you. I don't care what position you in nowadays, who you work for. There's no reason to not go to HR and complain. Absolutely not. Because right now, HR is more worried about you suing them than you than you sticking around. That's their biggest concern. You suing them. So they're going to investigate as best they can and get rid of whoever it is who you can use to sue them. That's how it works. So there's no reason to sit there and not say anything anymore and then come out umpteen. It's like, I want to feel for the woman, and I understand her plight, but at the same time, you should have complained right away.
She also
at least after like the third week it happened, you should have complained, not just I want to be transferred.
And she went to go seek
and
mental
HR
health.
should have asked why she wanted to be transferred instead of just letting her transfer.
She didn't transfer in, so she waited. Like later on, she transferred. But that could have been for whatever. But she said that she had to seek mental help after.
She should have fucking complained right then and there with HR. She should have made a formal complaint.
She told the Journal that the governor hugged her, kissed her on both cheeks, and then wrapped his arm around her lower back and grabbed her waist.
She got a great ass!
A photo shown by the Journal shows Cuomo
That's
hand around his waist.
That's a little much. Well,
so
it's a little much. The hand around the waist is a little much. Like the kissing on both cheeks, that's a European greeting. Yeah, but the hands around her waist, all right, you went a little far there.
And then,
but then it also depends on, did she tell him he wasn't interested all the other times? Did she ask him to stop? Did she tell him she felt uncomfortable?
No word over here. A photo shown by the Journal shows Cuomo hand around her waist. In response to the claims made by Liz, an advisor was like, reporters and photographers have covered the governor for 14 years, watching him kiss men and women and posing for pictures. At public open house mansion reception, there are hundreds of people. He posed for hundreds of pictures, and in the pictures, he's doing the same thing with hundreds of people.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to believe her. I really do. I was on her side, but now she's just coming up sketchy. I was on her side when this first started. I'm like, oh, okay, it's inappropriate to her, and she's the one it's happening to. So, but yeah, now it's starting to get real sketchy towards the end. Not complaining to HR. There's no reports of her in the report anyway. It doesn't say that she actually told him to stop or she felt uncomfortable. She just wanted to try and get a transfer out of nowhere. Like, why did you wait so long?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't say anything, because if she said something, I'm pretty sure he would have stopped. Especially if she said, if it continues, I'm going to go to HR.
And then the other person,
and I'm gonna tweet it everywhere and post it everywhere. Just, you need to stop. Social media will kill you. Like, there's no reason for her to put up with this behavior at all. So that's why it sounded kind of sketchy. You heard me. I was on her side at first, but now it's starting to sound sketchy.
So yeah, we'll see. So another accuser, Charlotte Bennett, a former executive assistant and health policy advisor to Cuomo, told New York Times that the governor had asked her a series of personal questions, including stating that he was open to relationship with women in their 20s. That wasn't, that's a little weird because that wasn't directly at her. It seems as if he was saying it in general.
I still don't consider that sexual harassment. If you're interested in a woman, you're gonna tell her that. Like it really sounds like first of all, is he divorced?
I'm not sure.
Because if he's not, he just sounds like an asshole. But if he is, then it just sounds like he's trying to find somebody. And even if he's just trying to sleep with a bunch of women, it doesn't sound like he's doing sexual harassment. It just sounds like old school flirting. And no one bothered to tell him that they felt uncomfortable. That's what it's starting to sound like.
So another woman to come forward was the former aide of the governor, alleged that in 2018 Cuomo kissed her on the lips following a one-on-one briefing in his New York City office.
Well, that's going a little too far. That's going a little too far. That's not even like in the moment type of thing. You know if a woman wants to kiss you or not. That's okay. Like there's no. I'm not sure. I think she wanted to kiss me. I thought she. No, you know when a woman wants to kiss you. You know that he was just trying to seduce her at that point. Like you know when a woman wants to kiss you. Okay, all right. That's just that.
Another woman told Times in an account that Cuomo made unwanted advances towards her during a crowded wedding reception in New York in 2019. And that's it.
With the exception of the woman who got kissed on the lips.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, except for her. Did any of these other women say to him, I'm feeling uncomfortable? Because the stuff that he's doing to the other women is just plain old flirting. You have to tell someone who's flirting with you that you're feeling uncomfortable to know that that you're feeling uncomfortable because they're just flirting. Now, the woman he allegedly kissed on the lips, that's more than flirting. That's actually sexual harassment. No matter how you look at it on any point of view, because like I said, you know when somebody wants to kiss you. He was just trying to seduce her, hoping that kissing her would get her all hot and bothered like a porno. This is real life. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, so.
It doesn't even work that way in Japan, so. No, this is real life. Yeah, that was too far. Yeah, you crossed the line there. That's when it went past flirting. And if they did tell him he was doing that and he was still continuing doing it, yeah, that's sexual harassment because he was told that he was making them feel uncomfortable. But if they don't say anything, nobody wants to say anything when it happens, but then later on wants to cry wolf when their luck is bad or they have bills to pay that they can't pay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they hold on to it just in case for a rainy day when they should just be reporting about that type of stuff immediately. Unless it's like one of those really traumatizing things, like rape. That's a different story. I can understand not wanting to talk about something like that. But a man flirting with you that's unwanted and you didn't bother telling him it's unwanted shouldn't be traumatizing because you should have nipped it in the bud before it even got that far by saying, I feel uncomfortable. And you can say it in a nice way where you don't have to be afraid of losing your job.
Mm-hmm.
There are polite ways to turn people down. You're not going to lose your job. And if you do lose your job after you turn someone down, well, then you can sue their asses. So I don't know why people don't say anything. Fucking hell. So now we got this big mess from several women who, from what I have heard so far, never bothered to tell this man, except for one who legitimately crossed the line, never bothered to tell this man that they were feeling uncomfortable. Got it.
Pretty much.
What else he got? That should be the end of that story, right?
Yeah, pretty much that's the end of that story.
Did they? Oh well, I should ask. Did they give? Because I did tell they wanted to resign. Did they give an ultimatum to resign?
No.
Try and take him to court or anything?
Not right now.
No.
Right. It's just sitting accusations right now.
Oh, damn. That's it. All right. What else we got?
17,000. That is the right number. Earthquakes hit Iceland in the past week.
Wait, what?
717,000.
Oh fuck!
Right. I'm like, wait, am I reading this right?
How are they still above water?
So this, even for a
So
volcanic island,
are these like uh what are they, category 1 earthquakes?
they seem to be ranging from the highest magnitude one
Oh
was
fuck. They need to get the
5.6.
fuck off that island. I don't care where the fuck you go. Get the
Right.
fuck out of there. You're gonna die.
Even for
17,000.
17,000, yes.
Iceland's
Even
not
for,
that big.
it's not.
Get the fuck out of there. Oh my god. They're gonna die. They're gonna be the next city of Atlantis. Jesus, 17,000 in 1 year?
No, over the past week.
Oh my god! They really are gonna be the next city of Atlantis. What the fuck? That's in a week.
Like, that's
Like
crazy.
I know. There's people like, oh, we have no. No, you better off living on the street somewhere. You have a better chance of living on the street than living there. That shit's gonna sink soon. Fuck. That's a week.
So even for a volcanic island accustomed to the occasional tremors, it's been a very unusual week for Iceland. According to the Iceland Meteorological Office, around 17,000 earthquakes have hit the southwestern region of, I can't pronounce this one, Reykjanes over the past week. The largest quake,
About to become Pompeii.
right, the largest quake, a magnitude of 5.6 on the Richter scale, occurred the morning of February 24th. It was the loudest in a swarm that continued to rattle residents near the capital and the cities around, where majority of the Iceland population lives. Two larger earthquakes over magnitude 5.0 also hit on February 27th and March 1st. The quakes have caused little damage so far, though the Roads and Coastal Administration has reported small cracks in roads in the area and rockfall on steep slopes near the epicenter of the swarm. Like, they've experienced earthquakes before, but never so many in a row.
I don't think anywhere's
And
had that many earthquakes in 1 week.
the the resident said it's very unusual to feel the earth shake for 24 hours a day for a whole week. It makes you feel very small and powerless against nature.
Yes, it means get the fuck out. Fucking mole man gonna come out the ground.
Yeah, it's crazy. They said we are used to it. It started 1 year ago, but it is much more now. Very unsettling. I'm not afraid, but this is uncomfortable. I woke up twice last night because of the tremors. There was a very big one when I went to sleep, and I woke up with one.
I'm not afraid, but this is uncomfortable. That means you're fucking afraid, dumbass. I'm not afraid, but I'm very uncomfortable.
It is difficult, but you have to learn to live with it.
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard! Jesus Christ, I've met some dumb bastards in my time, but you outdo them all.
No, you don't. Get the fuck out. You gonna die with it is what you gonna do. Like, no, seriously. You have a better chance of living homeless on the street at this point than living there. Because that shit is going down. It's gonna be the next Pompeii. That is a lot of earthquakes in a week. I don't think anyone has ever had that many earthquakes in a week in the entire world.
No, I don't think so.
Fucking hell. Get the fuck out. Just go. You learn to live with it.
Iceland, right? These are the residents. Comes from
I know they're
Iceland.
the residents. I'm like, you learn to live with it. Yeah,
Iceland
okay.
sits on a tectonic plate, a boundary that continuously splits apart, pushing North America and Eurasia away from each other along the line of the Mid Atlantic Ridge. Most seismic activity here is only picked up by sensitive scientific equipment. Occasionally, stronger tremors are an inevitable part of living on an active seismic region. Only this time, there seems to be no end to the rumble under the ground.
The never ending rumble.
And they're trying to figure the why. Why is this happening now? It's very
Because
likely
it's
that
going to sink. What do you mean, why? You got a fucking volcano that's about to erupt. It is going to be Pompeii all over again. You got a volcano that's going to erupt. Just
Right.
leave. It doesn't matter where you go. Just go.
The scientists say it is very likely that we have an intrusion of magma into the Earth's crust there.
No
It has
shit. That's
definitely
called a volcano.
it has definitely moved closer to the surface, but we are trying to figure out if it's moving even closer to it. With
That's
multiple
called a volcano. It's moving closer. That's called a fucking volcano.
You're always this stupid? Did you take lessons?
I took lessons.
Just say we think a volcano is brewing again. You might want to start looking to live somewhere else, but we'll keep an eye on it. Oh. Oh my god.
with multiple volcanoes in the area, local officials have been warned that eruption could be imminent.
Oh shit. You think? It's been fucking rumbling for a week. You think? Think it's just gonna go away? Oh god. What else we got? Oh, okay. No shit, Sherlock. I think a week of rumbling is your warning sign. You know, like when you see that shark swimming in circles around you, I think that means get the fuck out the water.
All right. Next in the news, a CNN exclusive. I have to include that because it seemed to be an exclusive. A solar panel in space is collecting energy so that it could one day be beamed to anywhere on Earth.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Science
I
come
thought you
to
was going to
life.
say something stupid, like it would, to use as a laser weapon or something.
So science, right? I was like, the image that they use for it, I wish you could see it. It looks like a laser. It's a red laser.
Yeah,
beam,
but I thought
okay?
I thought it was going. What the hell is that in the background?
Someone's walking out.
Oh,
That was a security
that was the
alarm.
alarm. Why does your alarm
Mm-hmm.
sound like that? Mine doesn't sound like that. Mine is beeps. That sounds like a xylophone. Link. But
Scientists working for the Pentagon
yeah,
have
no, I thought it was going to
successfully.
be like a laser. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was going to be
It
like a
looks like a
laser
laser.
a laser weapon or something to shoot at people. The energy, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, all right, at least that's useful. A fucking a laser cannon for what? Who you shooting?
You know, for all we know, it's probably really a laser cannon. Okay.
I don't even think that's physically possible. I don't think you can put enough heat in a giant sized laser without destroying the components.
Let's see. Okay, scientists working for the Pentagon have successfully tested a solar panel the size of a pizza box in space, designed a prototype for a future system to send electricity from space back to any point on Earth. The panel, known as PREM, was first launched in May 2020, attached to the Pentagon's X-37B unmanned drone, to harness light from the sun to convert to electricity. The drone is looping Earth every 90 minutes.
So
The panel.
basically, they're taking a solar panel to make another solar panel collect faster. Got it. Next story. That's what they're doing. They're taking the sun and then they're shooting the energy from the sun down to another solar panel so that the energy collects quicker than collecting it from the sun from outside from Earth. That's all they're doing. We can move along.
Right. I think it's pretty cool.
It is. It is.
It gathers the blue waves, which makes it more powerful than the sunlight that actually reaches the Earth.
Yeah,
And the
that's what I said.
blue
Yeah.
light diffuses.
It's just taking a shortcut. They just use a middleman to take a shortcut, which will allow them to gather more energy faster so you can stop using nuclear power and start using more solar power. Next story. I just summed that all up without hearing the whole article. I already know what it is. Next story.
So the next story, you'll probably see it in the news tomorrow, but there was an interview tonight with Oprah Winfrey and Meghan and Prince Harry.
Okay.
About how Meghan was treated in the White House, at the palace.
She was treated like shit because she wanted to change everything. Next story. Am I right?
She didn't want to change anything. They moved. They left. They threatened her. They said that her son
because she wanted to change everything. She started throwing out things that they weren't ready for. That's why they had to move. That's why they left. That's why he left with her. She's an idealist. They're traditionalists. He wants to
Pretty
be
much,
an
you should.
idealist, and that's why he married her. But they don't want to have it. That's why those two had to leave, and they waiting for them to die so they can go back and make all those changes. Next story.
That's actually the last story, but
Oh.
it's a story that's still actively going on because now the interview just finished a few hours ago. Now all the media outlets are filling up with everything. So with this,
Well, no
they
one's going to
didn't
hear
want
this until
her.
next week.
Very much like even Oprah was like, "What?" Because there was concerns about the color of her son's skin, that they would not give him a title, he wouldn't have any security, he wouldn't be protected. And that's like really because in the royal family, I don't know if you like follow that, everyone has a title, even the dogs have titles.
Yeah, that's kind of
the
fucked up.
fact the fact that they weren't going to give her son a title because they were contemplating the color of his skin alone and not even provide security for him,
That's
they're
messed up.
like, nah. And that how they twisted it, and that she wanted to die at a point. It was so bad.
Well, I'm sure it'll be an interesting interview. But like I said, they don't like her. They had to go.
Right.
Mostly because, and they don't like her because she wanted some new wave. She had new wave ideas, and they're traditionalist. They don't want anything to change.
It's just really sad.
Because it was the same way Princess Diana didn't like her either. Because she
Exactly.
had new wave ideas, and they didn't want anything to change.
And they are expecting their second child, that they're staying there. They're going to stay here because they're done with
Yeah, they're waiting for them to die.
Europe.
They'll go back when they're dead. You don't have to put up with that bullshit.
When who's dead? The queen? After the queen, it's her son, her brother. Is there so many people in line that have to die for them to go back and be safe?
Hey, accidents happen. Let me stop. I'm joking. I know nothing about a plot to kill the royal family, nor am I part of one. It was just a joke.
Sheesh. But yeah, that story is in development. You'll probably see. I like literally. That's all I see in my news timeline. The interview with Oprah, Harry and Meghan. The
Because it's
interview with
Oprah.
Oprah, right?
Because it's Oprah. It's Oprah, Larry King. Who's the other black chick?
I know who you're talking.
Yeah, she interviewed R. Kelly.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And the other white chick. Well, not the other white chick. The white chick. What's her name? The hell is her name? I think Kelly. I think is her first name. You have no idea who I'm talking about, do you?
No.
I'll remember it tomorrow. She's very famous. I'll remember it tomorrow. Actually, now I think if she's still doing interviews, she only does special interviews. But yeah, those four, if they're interviewing somebody, it's all over the news. I can't remember what the other chick's name is. Nah, I'll remember tomorrow. But that's it. That's everything on the news.
Yep, that's everything in the news.
It's 2 hours and 33 minutes. I mean, 53 minutes. You see why I started summing up stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. I'll tell you what happened right now. All right. Next week, I have no idea what we're doing next week. We'll get to Robin's obsession with sex.
I don't know what a person that is. After having a child, that is long out the window.
We'll talk about that next week. You are definitely obsessed with sex.
Definitely not.
Yeah, definitely are.
Anymore.
Definitely are. You can follow us on Cinemastrophe and Facebook, YouTube. See the show Cinemastrophe, or type in Cinemastrophe. If you put a comma Don Perignon, the channel will come back as up. Will come right up. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I mean, not Instagram, at Twitter and Twitch at Don Perignon77. You can email us. You can leave comments in the comment section or email us at donperignon_v1@yahoo.com. Oh, yeah. Or you can just Google cinemastrophe.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, that means you're a week behind everyone else. But if you want to be on time, if you want to be right up there with everyone else at the same time, listen to it fresh off the boat. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm tired. Just look at your local podcast network. There's Apple, iHeart, Google iPad, Spotify, iHeart, Pandora. We're on them all. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jesus Christ, I'm winding down. I think that's it. If not, I don't give a fuck. Good night, everybody.
Good night.